Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's going to be reviewing the Dodge Durango 392, and I feel like this is a perfect time to review this because I just reviewed a Hellcat Durango the other day, so I'll be able to make some comparisons in this video. Before we get into this video, though, I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to the Southtown Imports here in Utah for giving me some time with this Durango. This particular Durango is still available for the time being, and although it is technically pre-owned because it's already been registered, it only has like 40-something miles on it, so it's basically brand new. Like I said, I'll include a link to their inventory in the description down below if you're interested. And then on a side note, if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below as well. Let's get into it. Powering the SRT Durango is a 6.4-liter Hemi V8 that goes through an 8-speed automatic transmission. Power outputs are a whopping 475 horsepower and then 470 pound-feet of torque, and 392, well, Hemi. Now, before we go over the front end, I do want to mention, if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. So starting with the hood, you guys can see you've got the hood scoop down the center and the venting on either side, and it just looks so cool. Now I've got the Durango's new style of headlights here. Notice the daytime running lights above and below. They kind of look like teeth almost. It's pretty aggressive. And then you've got the venting here for the front grille. You got a subtle blacked out SRT logo. Not sure if that's even going to pop up on camera. And then you got the fog light action down below with little teardrop parking sensors on the front end as well. And when you put it all together, this just has such an aggressive front end appearance. So coming around the side here, our tire and wheel setup is 295, 45, 20 in the front and over in the rear. And you guys can see the wheels are actually a very dark metallic gray, which I think is pretty cool. And then we've got Brembo brakes here. Notice the calipers are red, and those brakes are pretty massive. Again, you gotta remember 20-inch wheels, and the rotor almost fills up the entire wheel. We've got the body painted fender flares here. We've got a 392 badge and then blacked out mirror caps. Notice the door handles are body painted. And then here is your full side view on the Durango with those fender flares and everything. Again, it just adds to the aggression. Here's our key fob. We have our unlock function or lock function, the opening for the hatch, remote start function, and then you've got your SRT logo there on the back. Now popping inside, we've got our SRT floor mats. That's a pretty cool touch. And then 12 volt here on the rear end area as well. And you got the normal seats where you pull this tab to fold the seat down. You use the string or strap rather to pull it back up. And yeah, overall space back here is pretty solid. And then when you're all done, just press that button right there and that will lower the hatch right back down. Now I've got the cool Durango light bar here on the back end with the Dodge logo in the center, which is all blacked out. And then all the rest of the badges are also blacked out. You got parking sensors here at the bottom with the receiver hitch that's covered by a bezel. And then look at how large the exhaust tip covers are. Wrapping things up, let me know what you guys think about the Durango with the overall appearance, but I think it still looks good to this day. Now popping inside, you guys can see the trim here, and then look at the padding and stitching down below. And I like the coloration there on the door handle. We've got these seats that are partially leather, partially Alcantara. You've got the SRT logo there, and then you can see perforated all down the center portion. And then we also have red seat belts. Now the cargo cover, I guess, is in the second row for some reason. But anyways, legroom's good back here. I promise I've been in many a Durango. Anyways, we've got the net here in the back. We also have some vents here, heated seats, USBs. We've got a full power outlet as well as some cup holders. And this one has a center console set up. So you can see more USB 12 volts action and some nice trim on the top too. So we've got our climate controls here for the rear at the top. And then we got lots of vents all over. And then you guys can see here with the seats, notice the Alcantara, the leather trim and everything. And then you also have the red seat belts too, which is nice. Now with the third row of the Durango, I've popped in the back of so many Durangos. You can fit adults back there. It's actually pretty decently sized for this segment of crossover. Now taking a look at the front door panel, you can see again the trim here, just like the back, and then the leather padding with the stitching. All of our window controls, front two are automatic. You got your mirror adjustments, memory seats. This one has the Harman Kardon sound system, and then blind spot monitoring with the mirrors. And then look at the stitching and leather trim here, and then SRT logo yet again, perforated all down the center with the Alcantara. And then we've got the red seat belt here, power adjustments on the seat, and then you can see the light controls right here. Now here's the steering wheel. You guys can see it's kind of perforated here on the side, and then you got really nice leather trim at the top and down below. And then I like this little part right here, it's pretty cool. Got regular cruise control as well as adaptive cruise control. Paddle shifters here in the back for the 8-speed automatic. You got radio controls behind those paddles, or kind of below them rather. And then you've got your voice command controls as well, and then Get your regular turn signal windshield wiper stock. Now here's the center gauge clutch. You guys can see analog on either side, and you got the screen there in the center. And yeah, notice that you can see a bunch of different bits of info here on the Durango. I think the speed of the thing looks pretty cool, but I like that the RPMs are front and center. And also, 180 miles an hour in a minivan. Now here is the backup camera. We do have trajectory lines that turn with the steering wheel. And moving from that to the rest of the infotainment system, you've got the race car helmets on the climate control section, which is pretty cool. Heated and ventilated seats. You also have a heated steering wheel. And then, you know, overall response time of the screen, it's pretty good. It does take a second for some of the pages though to load up. And I noticed in the cold also, that's kind of a thing just with vehicles in general. Now if you pop over the vehicle tab, you got the headrest fold, you got the rear view camera set up, and then if we press the SRT button, which I'll show you guys later, this pulls up the drive mode select. So we have tons of different drive modes, including an eco mode, which is always funny to have on a vehicle with an engine like this. I like the red stop start button, but anyways, look at the stitching that goes across the dash, and then right there, it's pretty nice. And then it is soft touch here at the top, for those of you wondering. We've got our radio controls here at the bottom, dual zone climate controls, again your controls for the heated and ventilated seats, wireless phone charging pad here, and then some USB action as well. Now here's the shifter for the 8-speed automatic transmission. We got some cup holders right next to it, and then here's for the center console. And then look at all the stitching here and all along the side. And then speaking of storage, there's your glove box. There's a 12 volt right here, and then also we do have trailer brake controls from the factory. Universal garage door openers up top. We got our controls here for the sunroof, just a regular sunroof. Let's talk about visibility before we set off. Here's visibility over the hood, both the mirrors, just do blind spot monitoring, and throughout the rest of the rear. And we're actually gonna have to reverse out a little bit. That was a hiccup. That's funny. I don't think I've ever hiccuped on camera before. That's a first. I guess I'll leave that in the video, even though it's kind of silly. But 392 Durango. Obviously, this is going the way of the Dodo alongside the Hellcat Durango, because Stellantis decided that doesn't make sense to make these vehicles anymore. And so this will probably be my last time to experience the 392 Durango on the channel. And funny enough, I actually sold these brand new when it was first released. I remember when this came out, I was just so shocked. I was like, wait, why? I'm like, this is basically a 500 horsepower minivan. Why is Dodge doing this? And well, now we have a 700 horsepower version, the Hellcat. And I don't know, I understand, now that I obviously am a parent, I understand the appeal with something like this. I sold cars before I had a child. I didn't like understand this type of vehicle at all. I was like, why? I'm like, if you want a family vehicle, just get like a Dodge Grand Caravan, right? Just get something with a lot of space. But now that I am a parent and I'm a car enthusiast, I understand like how much appeal there is to this, because like this still does all the practical family stuff, but then it has a fire-breathing V8 under the hood. So like, you know, you can take the kids to school and all that kind of stuff, and then when you're by yourself, you can have a little bit of fun, right? Responsible fun, of course. But yeah, I mean, so comfortable. Is that a Corolla with an exhaust? Yeah, that totally is. I was like, why is it so loud? But yeah, it's super comfortable. The suspension, or maybe it's the Mazda. I can't tell anymore. Maybe they both have exhausts. But regardless, it drives pretty similar to the Hellcat. I will say you don't get the cool supercharger whine. So it's still, you know, got a Hemi, so it still sounds really good, but it's not quite on the same level. We'll pop into the sport mode now. So it'll make everything a little bit more aggressive with the Durango. And I really do love how the Durango drives. It has a really solid sporty feel to it that you just don't get in a lot of three-row crossovers. Well, getting up and moving a little bit more here. Gotta love the sound of that Hemi. Yeah, it's just such like a clean sound. And again, it handles pretty well for an SUV. Woo! Now, it's not nearly as quick as the Hellcat Durango, obviously. It doesn't have nearly as much power. But it's, I mean, for a family hauler, this thing is crazy fast. It's really fun. It really is. So, to kind of get into setting things up here with the SRT Durango and kind of make some final comparisons to the Hellcat Durango. I think this thing's really cool. It's a lot more reasonable than the Hellcat Durango, to be honest. The Hellcat Durango is so powerful, so loud and obnoxious that like you feel like you're in a sporty SUV with that. It does have a little bit of a calmer side, but it's still pretty crazy. This, it has the fire-breathing, you know, acceleration of a 6.4 Hemi vehicle, but it also has this calm, quiet side to it. Like, you could be mistaken for this being like just normal luxury car, frankly. And I know some people won't call it Durango luxury car, but it's got a lot of luxury features, heated and cooled seats. I mean, I review a lot of Mercedes that don't even have heated seats, so just putting that out there. But regardless, I think it sounds great. It's comfortable. It's got kind of like a dual personality, and like this. Come on, this is like the coolest way to haul kids around. I mean, what other vehicle can you buy that you can literally like completely destroy like Mustang GTs and all that kind of stuff at a stoplight, right? And you can also carry a bunch of people around. So let me know what you guys think about the Durango SRT. I think this thing's cool. I do think the Hellcat's more exciting, but it's also more expensive, so you'd hope it would be more exciting.